Hello, everybody. Gonna start streaming. Get everything up, and then I'll put the notices out, then I'll start working on the game. Let's try reloading the page here. I wish there was like an easier way to get to my broadcast settings here. Maybe there is. Can I see like, no. What's this? If I go to my profile page, I can see the fact that I'm streaming. Nope. So I should appear right here if it's working, but it's something I have not got right. So I'm going to hide my screen really quick, just in case there's information in here that you guys shouldn't see. And there's a little bit. I'm just trying to get the Steam page working here real quick. Oh, well, that gives me just the chat, but let's see. It says I'm disconnected. Let's see why it disconnected me. It may be that I'm streaming at too high of a resolution to be able to stream here. So I'm going to see if I can maybe disconnect and reconnect to Steam here. Oh, no, I am live on it. It's just I'm not appearing on the store page yet. Did I not set my... Okay, cool. I am live here. Sweet. And I have this nice little broadcast page here too. That helps things out. So I can see the chat. Okay, bringing back the rest of the scene after I close this down. Get rid of the... Boom. Cool. The chat will just need to be up when I'm looking for chat. And I think, this stuff can go away. Boom, we'll do that. I need to figure out why on Twitch I have just this picture. But I'll do that a different day. And then let people know via Twitter that we are live. Indie Dev. Working on abilities. And did that instead. https://twitch.tv/stbluefire. Cool. Gotta like your own tweets. That's what I heard at least. Okay. So the first thing we did was increase the range of grapple, which was over here, and then we were going to be looking to see why sometimes it gets stuck. And my hypothesis right now is it gets stuck because um, the server does like a hit scan and destroys the projectile long before the client does. So the client like does it fully and um, it kind of bugs it out. So I'm going to see if I can kind of fix that. So here you're going to see what we pass into a projectile. And this is how it kind of finds itself. This code isn't being run, so don't worry about the red right now. So I'm going to see if we should in fact have a delayed projectile. Hey, Fusaro. Hey. Yeah, he just put something between you and Fusaro, so he has to like maintain space, you know? We got a new kitten, and he's got a little bit of a sickness, so we've been quarantining him in the room to keep him away from our other cat. Um, but he's gotten better, so we're gonna try reducing the distance slowly. But our old cat has never seen the new kitten, so he's very interested. Yes. I don't even know how many people are looking at us right now. So let me know in chat if/when you want to see the kitten, and we can bring him over. I wonder what this delayed projectile is. So we have it turned off here, which is the default behavior. And I really wonder, I mean, we can just see if just, oh, actually, that's strange. There is no default behavior. It doesn't look one way or the other. Let's see if that in and of itself, oh, that's because I'm dumb. So the default is that the delayed projectile is turned off. Let's see what we have here. Because I was in the projectile there instead of the grapple. So grapple inherits from projectile, so it gets all of its logic from there. We can see maybe if we do this, if this is simply enough. Okay. Every now and again when you do this. Yeah, so that obviously doesn't fix it. Because I want to get rid of it. Sometimes damage stays, and the only real way to test this, like, much. I'm not 100% free from it, so I find that I gotta go in this area. I kind of go like this. Every now and then create one. There was another one. But it's actually getting destroyed now, which is kind of neat. So maybe a delayed projectile is like enough, right? Because they'd stay around for a whole lifetime. So it looks like even if a delayed projectile happens here. Yeah, see, it's kind of staying. Yeah, it doesn't stay too long, so it's not really fixed. Yeah, see, there's two broken, so that's not the fix for it. So that's good to note. So multicast here. Let's find every reference to the beam chain here. Find references. Get. So we just want to do a quick, before it does these three things, we can just do a quick is valid check here. And only run this if the beam chain info is valid. So, and that will block off any of those errors anytime you see something like this. Like, you can look at some validity stuff. I think it'll return false, so you can kind of save yourself this error. So most of the time, this won't cause problems, but it's a good hint that you might get some like memory access violations too in certain cases. So because it's is pin and kill, I don't think you'll actually get a memory access violation. It just won't run on the client, but you might as well just do this valid check because who knows, like frames happen a little bit differently, like the multicast gets there a little bit later, so on and so forth. Like this can just like catch that. So that fixes that problem. We can get rid of this delayed fake projectile since that doesn't seem to be having anything. So my other inkling is that something about this location offset is causing some oddities here. So the first thing I want to do is go over to the projectile itself, and we're going to slow it way down. So the projectile itself is really fast. Even slowing the projectile down might like start to eliminate some of the errors. We're going to make it real slow, just because I want to be able to see where when it spawns, where it's spawning at. I want to make sure that my assumptions for certain things is right, and so forth. So yeah, it's spawning right on my hand, which is nice, right? And you can kind of see things going here, and they're dying way before they ever hit anything. So I'm kind of curious if this like creates like really easy repro, because I can do that, right? And like, look, yeah, it's staying around. So that's real interesting. Now I have almost perfect repro. So it looks like maybe if it like collides in some of the early frames for some strange reason, it like, look, this goes through. So, oh, that one actually grabbed on the server too. You saw me, it kind of hit. So I think what's happening, and this is kind of showing it, the client will sometimes think that it spawned on the outside, right? And so you'll get that right, but on the server, it actually thought that it spawned on the inside, just due to like the slight differences in like where the server thinks the client is. So yeah, you can kind of see there, I got close enough to actually hit it, right? And then I grabbed it and then it instantly disappeared. So I think we might be able to get away with, first let's see what this close range threshold is doing. Just close range, spawn, transform, distance, threshold, and we'll let it run. I think it'll still run while we do this. So what is it doing? So when it gets the spawn transform, it looks at this and yeah, so this is like orienting the rotation. So if it's really close, then it just says like, get it from here. So what we're trying to do here, I can kind of draw it out paint for you guys, is what we're saying is assume the square is the player. The player wants to hit maybe another player, right? Like right here. So if the player's aiming forward, it's going to do this, and then it's going to be like, oh, I hit this, so it's gonna like shoot the projectile like this, which is kind of weird because you might miss the player in certain circumstances depending on where the start point is, right? Like let's say your start point's over here, you know, you could easily see a situation where you hit the player, but then like when you throw it, it misses. So what we do is we say if it's that close, just continue to throw it straight, right? That way you can get better stuff. Grapple doesn't actually need this, so grapple we actually kind of want to have that behavior on, I think. So I think we can either we can just ignore close range spawn projectile here. So like that doesn't ever have any effect. Technically, I think this it would be the same if this was 0 or -1, but we'll just we have this check mark, so we might as well use it. Let's see if we go over here now. We'll really fix the problem. Like, look at how straight, where the client thinks it should spawn it, right? So I think what we're seeing here is like in fast-moving cases and like strange terrain situations, like throwing it inside the terrain. The client doesn't detect it, but the server does, and the server's like, this wasn't supposed to happen. So we probably want to change like when it spawns, like what its spawn behavior is. Always spawn, ignore collisions. So we might be able to say like adjust the location but always spawn. It's almost weird, you know, like why did the client, for example, like shoot it around the corner like that? If I was telling it to always spawn, I would expect the client to kind of like understand that behavior. So see it do that? Like that's strange to me. If I always want to spawn, I'd expect it to put it there, right? I'd like to expect that behavior, but the fact that it's like shooting at a strange angle to the side, like I think that's where the root of our problem lies. So there may be something strange in the collision comp here. Like I might have like a blocking behavior that I don't intend. So everything here is overlap, right? Let's just double check that this stuff doesn't have collision. I don't think there's like, okay, so the collision we're talking about is mostly here. It'll generate overlap events, right? So we may be able to go right here, call this custom, right? And then say like, hey, like let world like actually block you. And like, let's see what different behavior we get here. Because now it won't like overlap, maybe change its rotation and things like that. I expect the behavior to be a little bit more consistent now. It'll actually kind of push. Look at that. There you go. We're still seeing like some oddity in the direction that it chooses to shoot, but like I'm no longer getting the bug. So I imagine I can actually get this bug to happen on pawns because because I didn't add the block, so you can see that I can still get this behavior on pawns if I'm like real close to them. But that's easy. Now that we have a fix, we just come in here and we say pawns also block it. We don't want to block on shields because it creates weird behavior with shield counter, which we probably need to resolve at some point. These don't matter. I mean, technically, probably want to block. Sweet. Now we can test our assumptions here. Still broken on these guys. For reasons that we're not sure of. When you have no cooldowns, it's like won't continue to cast their spell. But it's actually really good, so I haven't fixed it. I just don't want them to like shoot instantly. Look at that. It's like still following the guy. Ooh, that could cause some problems, I imagine. That guy died, and I think like maybe his collision box like fell through the ground there. Which like maybe if you kill the guy with this, it's kind of neat. Like what we're seeing is the client takes a while to realize that actor is destroyed. Someone's texting me. Using the bot seal a little bit. Okay, strange. Strange behavior on pawns, but I don't think I did anything different other than... So I kind of wonder if this would solve my problem a bit. Yeah, so I can trace complex because this is just a sphere. Oh yeah, I was gonna give Julian access to my stream. Boom, boom. Oh, hey, Major Marker. How do you spell lieutenant? There you go. Oh, that's weird. If I type in there, you guys see it twice here. That's annoying. So, yeah, that's really annoying. I'll see if I can figure out a way to fix that. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I don't know if you're reading chat, Merker, but we named a bot after you called Lieutenant Lurker. If you have other bot names, let me know. I'll definitely throw them in. so we were gonna Google and see what CCD was. I've looked at this a few times, but sometimes you just go here and it's just like, yeah, it's just you just get this right. You're like, okay, night, thanks. What is CCD UE4? Okay, I see. We actually probably want this. This sounds like our problem too. Because I think what we're seeing happen is like when I throw this, I have some code too that like helps the projectile to back up so it doesn't look like completely silly. Okay. It doesn't change our behavior over here at all. That's kind of neat. You could hear the there's the kitty in the background. He's eating food. We're still seeing this behavior with pawns. We're still in a lot better position, and like you're not usually melee people with grapple in the first place. We can also test to see what happens with a human player. Sometimes the behavior is a little bit different, so we can see if there's something wrong specifically with bots. Look how it continued to move. Like it hits the guy and it's still moving, so the projectile is definitely supposed to stop. Look at that. This might give me some information as to like what's happening. Yeah, so you can see here, like we're like, hey, like move back from like where you hit, so like it looks better. So the weird thing is that we're gonna like up the accuracy here, so it behaves a bit better. Take a look at the grapple force too. Does the grapple force tell the projectile to stop? Like, I really don't think so. So X is like how far forward it is. We can bring it a bit back to just stop some strangeness when you're really close to an object. Because like it moves so fast that like you're not going to notice that it kind of spawns into your hand a little bit. So this behavior is like the strangest, right? Because the projectile obviously spawns, it obviously hits the player, like it damages it, but we don't see anything. Like we don't see any of this stuff happen, right? Or like it hits it and sends the force event. So we can just like pull off here, print. Oh, nice. I already made that. So now we can kind of see a little bit what's happening. Like where it thinks it actually is on the server and on the client and so forth, right? Okay, so the server detects the hit. The client never like spawns the projectile. So I think what happens is, actually, that was fine too. Oh, I don't think it's. See, look at that. That's real strange. Like the server detects the hit. It takes a second, then the client hits it because the client's like spawning in just like the clients are spawning in this weird spot, so they don't actually detect the hit till like a lot later. Like the server instantly detects it, but like maybe is destroying it or something. Because the clients thought it spawned backwards. It's almost like clients don't get like the server is respecting this always spawn ignore collisions. Um, but but the clients are trying to like move it when it spawns it. So I don't think we need this. This could be given some strange behavior. So we print the location. The server's seen the location on the hit, but the clients are seeing it way later. They're like playing around with the like where they think it's spawning. Sometimes I wonder if I should maybe set the I could set because I'm setting this right. Source is the instigator. That's good. The target is the reference to the object itself, which is good. Maybe I also just say like set the actor location too. Um, still working correctly. We're still getting kind of that oddity. Yeah, look at that. Like, what did I see when I was over here? Yeah, it's only the server recognizes it here. It never even. I think the server is like spawning it, detecting the collision, playing everything that it should play. That's weird. And destroying the actor before the clients even run the damage impacted actor code. Huh. Very interesting. I need to do something really quick. I gotta give the cat its medicine, but I should be back in 5 minutes. If you have oh, hi, Terry. What do you mean by you don't have the bandwidth at your to stream at your resolution? Can you not like turn the resolution down, or does it like look really bad? I guess I could kind of look at some of that. But I would hope I went to 4K because I was kind of hoping that it would let people downscale to 1080p and like still be able to like read a bit more than they have been able to in the past. But if anyone has any ideas on why it's doing that, let me know while I go give the cat its medicine. I'll come back, read chat, and see if we can get to the bottom of why pawns are still acting weird. I might call it quits on this soon, just because the bigger issue was like the landscape stuff, and I need to like turn the speed back up and see if we got any unwanted behavior. But this behavior is still very strange, right? Why did the clients like spawn in such a weird spot? So, they spawn it perfectly if nothing's in the way. Even if things are kind of close, still kind of being spawned perfectly. But as soon as I get close to something that I can collide with, like, we get some different results. See? Boom, boom. I guess we kind of saw it there, too. So it's not going to be completely fixed, I think, when I go back to going fast, so. Think about it. It could be that if it spawns inside of an object, that it's not generating the overlap and causing the damage impacted actor to fire. So I'll look at ways to maybe detect collision on spawn and fire that damage impacted actor on spawn and things. I might also be able to pull it back into the character more, so it always spawns kind of in the character's collision, so it's less likely to be colliding with anything else. So, but I will be right back. Okay. Okay. Check chat. Oh, it only has her. That's good to know. I might drop it down to. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I wonder how many people are actually able to stream at 4K or what it costs. Like, I'm not dropping any frames, 60 FPS, and it takes about 6 megabytes upload. So it's probably like, let's see, it's probably about the same download, I would imagine. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with streaming technology. They might be able to do it. They probably do some like quality reduction too. So it's probably less than that. I'll have to think about how to do that. If I went down to like 720p, I don't think people would be able to like see anything. I wonder how many viewers you have to get to before they start letting people downscale your stream too. Hey, kitty. Surely they at least let people. I guess I can prove this, see how much they let me downscale it to. I go into the stream myself. This cat does not want to be here. He wants to explore, but you're not allowed to explore right now because you're sick. When you get feeling better, you'll have full run of the house in a few days. You'll have to go back in the room by yourself if you don't behave. Um, what is going on? This profile image can take you to the channel home. That's not what I want. I want to. No. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hitting the wrong button. Oh my gosh, yeah, it doesn't even let you get down to 1080. I suppose auto probably like doesn't even work either. Hmm. Do I have to have all of OBS open? I do. Let's move this down here then so you don't have to see it every time I look at chat. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know, kid. I know you just want to go into the kitchen and hang out with the other kid and hang out with Darcy, but you can't. You're sick. So we're gonna do this. You're about to get stuck back in the room. I know you want to explore. So we probably actually want to do an is valid check on this target too. I mean, I suppose if you've received it, but I suppose you could receive the multicast. The server thinks you have access to this, and then you don't actually have access to the things that it's referencing. And I think, yeah, I know. We know quarantine's no fun, but when you have special room quarantine. So I think what we'd probably want to do is double check the validity of everything here. And only if everything is valid here, like start to do anything. Because we don't want to like start to create the chain if like it's not going to be able to finish it off. So double check that all of this is legitimate on the client. I don't think this is going to fix our problem, but it could fix client crashes based on this. It could also potentially fix a server crash because I think does multicast run it on the server as well? I'm pretty sure it does. Replicates this event from the server diagram on server, executes this event locally too. Only call this function on the server. Yeah. So theoretically, the server could hit an invalid here and crash, but I don't think it's actually possible because it wouldn't. You know, it would know that it's a null reference here. So it could be this. So I wonder if we only set the actual location on the server. We'll clean up the blueprints after we're done here. Okay, kind of get the same behavior over here. That went through, but kitty. I'm gonna have to put him back in the room. He is just not behaving tonight. Look at that. That's real. So that didn't really fix what we wanted. take him back to the room, and I'll be right back. See, he probably needs to go to the bathroom, get some water. It's a little bit warm. I might turn on the air conditioner too. See if we can cool it down. See if he'll stay here and sleep. Say hi. Mm. I'm back. So we kind of get to see here. So it's got like a 7 unit difference. The Y value is really where the disagreement comes from. It's almost off by like 160. And then the Z is off by like 70. Yeah, because it drops about 70 down and then it goes like way over here to the left. Which is ultimately what's causing it to kind of go to a different location, I think. Maybe like detect it's hitting at a different time. So this is projectile. We can kind of see like when it spawns it. Don't allow hit scan. We don't allow pooling. So it comes down here and it says, oh, there's no way it spawns here. It'll spawn in here somewhere. Try spawn. There you go. Hmm. So we spawn here with the target data. It's not the dedicated server do that. Okay, that makes sense. So okay, it's a gas projectile, so nothing patched happened there. Hmm. So we have this actor transform here. We could we could be doing this could be proccing here. That doesn't make much sense either, because it's not like it's where do we set that? So this could be part of our problem here. So it probably does have an endpoint. Hmm. Yeah, it's both blueprints and C++. So like this is blueprinting, what you're seeing me mostly look at, but we also have like as you like go to like the base classes, like this will be implemented in C++. So even the transform appears to be wrong on the clients. I'm kind of curious if I let's take the print location off of here. And I'm kind of curious if I do a print location here, like how much they're different from one another. It's very interesting to me that both the clients agree, but the server disagrees. I would think that like maybe the local client gives it a little bit different, but like the other. Okay. This program light shot's super useful because I can just hit print screen and it'll like let me, it'll like freeze frame it so I can like grab the exact frame I want. So X is mildly off. Y is like off by 50. The rotation is near perfect. Like it's off by like half a degree. The Z is off a little bit too. So this is interesting. It looks like there might be two begin play events here. Yeah, there were. So what we're seeing here is like the client predicted projectile and then the projectile that the client gets from the server. So we spawn two, we spawn one. That's like, this is probably what's going to happen. So it looks instant, it feels instant, and then the server actually runs it. And you can see that the predicted projectile is actually like spot on with the server. So I'm actually, it's actually this replication, I think, that like ultimately creates some strangeness here, right? Because that's where it's like, let me move it over like 80 to the left and, almost 100 to the back, right? So it should be spawning up here, but it says put it more towards the back and to the left. And then the server like replicates that out, right? So this is like particularly interesting. So I'd be really interested to, at this point, branch this dedicated server, right? And then say print location. So we'll get two locations from the server. One after, we've hit and stopped. We can kind of see what the server thinks it's at and see if maybe the begin play is like I need to multicast the location out to people. Yeah, so you can see that that's actually where the server puts the projectile. So maybe in my set actor location, I did it wrong, which is pretty easy. So let's think about what we're doing here. So I think maybe my logic here is rough. So I get the hit location, and then I say like get your forward vector and like back up. All right, so in that case, I'm like, right? Oh, I'm silly. Yeah, of course this is kind of random, because you can't just multiply it by -50 to go backwards. I don't think if you multiply a vector by -1, it reverses the vector. I want to like, is there a reverse vector? Uh, I think that's not right. How to reverse vector. Why is it all C++? I don't really care. Inverse vector. Here we go. This sounds like what I want. Either dot or cross multiply. Let's say UE4. I don't quite get that. Maybe I'm not wrong then. One second. Okay, false alarm. Hmm. Okay, so maybe you multiply a vector. Let's think about it. So you have x, y. You have x, y. You have some vector. Let's say it's like a 1, 1 style vector. So that negative obviously works, and vice versa. If you're going off in this direction, So this x is negative, y is positive, and you reverse it. Yeah, so -1 is the right vector. The real question is does my rotation change when I hit? Maybe the rotation is like because of the blocking or something, and it is getting like messed up. Yeah, no, my rotation isn't changing. Just put a space there. So it is really spawning it down there. Real strange. C++ time. Let's make sure that we did in fact remember to let's do it for 45 more minutes. We'll give it 5 more minutes. Trying to fix this bug with pawns. We got it working. Looks like with the terrain, which is like the bigger problem, the one I see most often. Um, we'll call that good for this patch, and we'll move on to something else because otherwise we could go down a rabbit hole. So it's an ability actor, which is an actor. What is that? Let's find out what the setting is called. The setting I think is called like spawn rules or something. We need to know exactly what it's called. Spawn collision handling method. We can like say current project. So collision handling. Yeah. So we can kind of look at this to see if we like override it anywhere. So that's interesting. Here, we definitely override it. So we have hard-coded always spawn all over the place. Which I wonder if always spawn is which always spawn it is. Yeah, I mean it's probably this, right? It's probably not this. So like we're probably okay because everything's spawning the same. We kind of see it hitting. Okay, well that's doing that. We're kind of like honing in on what the problem is here. Okay, I'm kind of curious now if I like step back and I shoot it, if my how much my rotation changes when I'm like in physical range. So rotation 6.9, 5.34. The rotation changes significantly. Maybe the idea of getting rid of the close range spawn stuff is actually like wrong, and I actually want to increase this amount. I mean, one thing I can do is like bring this back. So now we're spawning a lot closer. What in the world? Oh, duh. Well, I mean, now it's in the right spot, you know? So at least we've reverted. But you can see it's because it's attached to the actor as the actor kind of turns around. So this is a lot more accurate. It doesn't do any of that weird, like, you're like way really close. So we actually kind of wanted that. Let's make sure we don't get anything too strange here. So we still have a lot of it fixed here. Okay, so that's nice. Now if you're like in melee range, you're still gonna kind of throw it in the spot that you expected to throw it. Okay, so BB projectile grapple. say destroy here. So this is when we actually destroy the actor. So we can kind of see maybe, well, my guess is that sometimes the server can destroy the actor before the clients have even spawned it. Well, actually, the server is not even destroying these. I mean, that makes sense because the force event isn't affecting, right? So we kind of know like none of this is happening. So the server hasn't even destroyed it, right? Okay. So we figured out all this stuff. This event isn't even firing at some times. So that means we know that like something here doesn't work out. Let's see if we're even sending the force off in these occasions, you know. We are sending the force. Okay, so that makes it really easy to know where the problem lies. The problem lies in that we sometimes send the force to the actor before they have the effect applied, right? So the effect applies in here. Um, okay, so uh-oh. Let's see everywhere this fires, just to make sure. You can fire here or here. So under process, it can happen during process hit, or it can happen later during process hit, which is real strange. So what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for a way to, because damage impacted actor is where we go and we apply all the effects and stuff. So what I want is I want to, okay, so I don't really see anything that I can like get to that's like after damage impacted actor is fired. I mean, I guess I could see if I look at damage impacted actor here. Oh, did not mean to do that. Can I go back? I'm getting weird results now. Okay, so it applies the gameplay effect specs here. And then it plays this, right? Just like, okay, cool. Exactly what we want. So what's happening is sometimes this plays too fast, and uh, the event doesn't get to them, right? Because what we do is we G grapple. We apply this grapple force tag to you, right? For a second, and we say, hey, you have us on you, so, and it grants you the ability GA grapple force. And then we activate that. Hmm. What do I do this as a target applied, or is this is grapple force? Yeah, grapple force is an owner applied gameplay effect. I mean, maybe I should like give a little bit more time for this to stay, because I want to make sure I don't get any strange behavior at low cooldowns when I do this. I don't think I should, because I did a lot of stuff to prevent re-entry of specific ones. Yeah, so we apply the effect specs before we do anything. I mean, let's see, like, if we ever gameplay. Let's say 2 owner. That's probably a pretty good one to look at. That's not even live code. We're just checking to make sure no parent functions are calling, like apply to owner. So this is supposed to be, I mean, it's a function. It's supposed to take effect before this can even like go, right? And if this doesn't go, then like, I mean, maybe it tries to treat it asynchronously because we don't do anything with this value. So maybe we can do something like this where we use the value. So it's like, shit, I might need to set this before I can go on, right? Maybe it's getting too clever for its own good in terms of optimizations. Applied owner fx. Let's delete that variable. I mean, surely it's not somehow like skipping out over the top of this. You kind of see it's a little bit slow. Because if this hasn't finished by the time this fires, like, but it has to finish because it's a function. I was in the variable. I mean, look at that. You can see. This might actually be like a root cause of the crazy movement bug that we see too. I did not think that this would be possible. So this is real interesting, right? Yeah, things seem to be happening in the right order. I mean, let me see if my assumption that, like, theoretically, if I just threw like the slightest bit of delay in here, I mean, let's do half a second duration. That should be more than plenty. Look at that. That is confusing. So this is the root cause of so many problems. Why this is possible is beyond me. Like if the gameplay effects aren't on the person, then I got something to test here. Grab this, get paint, put it here. So that's with the delay. Then we're gonna remove the delay. Like it's not in a different order even, which is just even the strangest part. Hmm. I don't know. Hmm. This is very confusing. So, if this isn't guaranteed to take effect before the other things take effect, I mean, it could be that the effects get granted, but the granting of the ability or something is like a little bit slower because it needs to like be instantiated or something. Hmm. Don't let it block anything. Hmm. What are we talking? Okay. The question is how little of a delay can I put in, and it still kind of work? I guess we want this here for now while we're testing that. Like, Most players aren't going to be able to notice like a 50 millisecond delay. And it would solve the problem for right now, and then I can look for a better solution in the future. I wonder if, in fact, if any delay like ensures that this runs. Let's see. I almost like, I wonder if there's like a way like delay one frame or something like that, right? Like that might all. We get some strange behavior there. It's probably just because of the wing or something, right? Turning threw me extra. Okay. I mean, even 0.01 just fixes the problem. Congratulations, we did it. We need this to ensure the GE is on the owner before it sends the force of it. Now we just need to go back and remember everything that we changed. So we definitely want that. Okay, we will close it all out now because we're going to just try some changes. Yeah, see, it's going to be like I don't think we touched anything else other than this, so we can save this one. Boom. And now we can go to source tree. We can look at everything that it thinks that we changed and start wiping things that we know we didn't. So we didn't change the force at all. We did change that. We didn't change base or projectile at all. So we can discard these changes. Did we change ability data? I think I might have. I don't remember if I, yeah, I didn't push up my balance changes yet, so they have it in there. Stage selected. So, fixed grapple bug. Oh, stage all. So there's a few things that we forgot to do. That would have been hilarious. But luckily with our testing, it never make it out. It just wastes our time. But I forgot to turn the projectile speed back up. So we should be able to do that. Double test. Casting it a bunch to see if we get in that position again where it'll stay up. And if not, then that should be solved. The visual bug for flamethrower should be solved. And we have like some good examples of maybe how to like fix any of the weird bugs with the hook and kickback and stuff, applying extra effects. I wonder if there's like some strangeness in like the client version and the server version like running twice because like they get instantiated at different points. test. Normal usage. Oops, why did I do that? I was gonna turn on. Oh, cool. Okay, it creates some strange piece there, but that's expected. Yeah, can I get out? Yeah. Because of the delay. The delay is interesting. I like cast a button. See? Isn't that strange? I think it's because the client thinks you can cast it, but the server knows that you can't have that many affecting you. So I don't have to know. So like it's cleaning those up. So that should we should see that happen on clients. Let's do some crazy lag here. Person way off, and the server's like better aware now of what's supposed to be happening, so it can like make sure you don't fly. I think before this change, you can see there that the client thought they missed, but the server to like super probably shouldn't be playing. I mean, if you got 500 ping, like nice. It's actually kind of directing you back to the location and not sending you offline. Yep, it's pulling you back, even though the client's like, I want to send you flying. Cool. Way better. We can probably do some of the same stuff here. And hook and so forth, but I'll test those later. We can just launch it with this. Leave kind of hook and kick in a broken state. Make sure this doesn't have any bad effects on live. And if this is like really healthy and grapple doesn't seem to have any more reported problems, then we can use the same logic on all the other things. That's the great thing about having a lot of abilities that use a lot of the same logic, is you can try with just one ability. So if anything's too crazy or broken, you won't like completely break the game. And it'll also get another testing pass in our staging branch before it goes live, so that'll be great too. Cool. So now we will stage select fix to grapple, visual, bug, and balance. What else? Shield, counter, damage went from 15 to 20. Grapple range went from 5,000 to 6,000. trying to remember what else I might have changed if I did. I don't think I did. Buff kickback. Let's get like some melee going on again. I haven't really seen anybody use this, so let's just make it even 3,000. Let me double check. We don't have to define the range in here too. I think we get it. Yeah, we get it fine. I think we can go down to 2.5. We're not really seeing anybody use it. And you can't do all the fly stuff anymore. 3.5 seconds to 2.5 seconds. What else is not getting used? I kind of think that this maybe has like not quite enough I think this should be easier to double hit now. Okay. Range before. We can say return range. Increased 50%. think we can probably like bring this down. I think this is what's really hurting the ability is that like with lower cooldowns, everything is like it's like another 0.3 seconds now. Like when you get like all three, if you're like following somebody. You want to one hit because it's like that, but it also sounds really cool. Yeah, it doesn't change the lag. I mean, you can kind of see. Cool. Hide between. Okay, everything else is kind of being used well, so I think we can leave it as is. I still want to rework. I haven't seen Fire Rain as much. Yeah, you're really not seeing it. So my choices are lower the cooldown more, or I could increase the cooldown slightly, I guess. And then it'll also allow me to increase the damage without it getting too oppressive. So that should overall be a pretty good buff to it. Fire Rain. Damage from 3 to 4. Fire Rain cooldown from 7 to, or 6 to 7. What's up? I'm about to end the stream here in a little bit. Take a break. Get some food. I feel like oftentimes I'm not hitting with this ability when I should, so we just need this to like better match the visuals. We'll just do 750 here. We'll keep it with Ice Nova. Kind of want it to be able to compete. Damage radius 350 to 750. Because we desperately need Smoke Bomb to be able to compete with Blink Behind. Otherwise, like if Blink Behind ever gets too far above it, I feel like Smoke Bomb just loses a lot of its strength. Okay, blink through things. What channels are you using? So it won't go through world dynamic things. But it will go through like characters, which is interesting. I feel like this is missing when it should hit too, so we'll buff it up. So this should really help in the next patch. Bring up some of the few abilities that people don't use as much into competitive play. Now if you can like land fire, because fire rain is like directly tied to black hole, so that's gonna make it more powerful. Fire rain more powerful, smoke bomb to get out instantly is gonna be more powerful too. So I think those are gonna have some like a real good resurgence. And Blink Behind will be nice too, since the up damage on kickback and easier hitting on Smite Smash should help melee builds, along with the increased radius on Ice Nova. Plus, I think you'll just see Dragon Breath used more without the bug, even though it wasn't affecting gameplay. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try to stream a couple hours a week every week just to kind of show you what we're working on. I'll try not to stream the super boring stuff, but if there's certain things that you want to see streamed, let me know and I will do that. Hope you all have a good night and see you later.